Disclaimer: this video is for educational and informational purposes only. All information presented is based on publicly available sources including news reports, court records, and official statements. This channel does not make accusations against any individual and presumes innocence until proven guilty by a court of law. Viewer discretion is advised. Names and details are presented as reported in the public domain. What happens when love curdles into an all-consuming rage? When the bonds of affection shatter, leaving behind not just heartbreak, but unimaginable violence. In the bustling metropolis of Bengaluru, a case unfolded that would shock the nation, forcing us to confront the darkest corners of the human psyche. This is not just a story of a crime. It's an excavation of the mind that harbored such profound darkness. Forensic psychology suggests that individuals capable of such extreme violence often exhibit traits associated with the dark triad: narcissism, Machiavellianism, and psychopathy. Narcissism, in particular, fuels an inflated sense of self-importance and a desperate need for admiration. When this perceived superiority is challenged, or when their expectations of devotion are unmet, a potent form of narcissistic rage can erupt. This isn't mere anger. It's a primal, destructive fury, often disproportionate to the perceived slight. Underlying this may be a profound insecurity, a fragile ego masked by an outward facade of confidence. The ability to compartmentalize and detach emotionally, a hallmark of psychopathy, allows for the planning and execution of acts that would horrify most. Such individuals often possess a superficial charm, adept at manipulating others to get their needs met, creating an illusion of normalcy that can tragically mask their true intentions. Their worldview is often self-centered, with a distinct lack of empathy, viewing others as objects to be controlled or discarded. The act of dismemberment itself, in this context, can be seen as an extreme attempt to exert ultimate control and obliteration over the source of their perceived torment, a final, horrific act of dominance. In retrospect, the warning signs are often stark, yet tragically overlooked. For those exhibiting dark triad traits, the early stages of a relationship can involve grooming, a calculated process of manipulation and charm designed to isolate the victim and build a dependency. Subtle forms of control, possessiveness disguised as affection, and extreme jealousy are often present. The perpetrator might exhibit mood swings, disproportionate reactions to minor issues, and a tendency to blame others for their problems. Friends and family might notice a pattern of controlling behavior, an insistence on exclusivity, or an unwillingness to accept rejection. The accused's suicide note, citing frustration with Mahalakshmi's behavior, points to a deeply ingrained intolerance for perceived defiance. This suggests a history of expecting absolute compliance and an inability to cope with any deviation from their desired narrative. Often, these individuals create an environment where the victim feels constantly on edge, walking on eggshells, and may begin to doubt their own perceptions due to gaslighting. The silence of those who observed these dynamics, perhaps out of fear, a desire to avoid conflict, or a misjudgment of the severity, allows the darkness to fester unchecked. The dismemberment of Mahalakshmi's body into 59 pieces and its subsequent concealment speaks volumes about the psychological state of the perpetrator. This isn't a crime of passion in the conventional sense, but rather a calculated act of extreme violence, likely fueled by a potent cocktail of narcissistic rage and obsessive control. The sheer brutality, the meticulousness of the dismemberment, suggests a desire to utterly annihilate the victim's existence, to erase her, and perhaps to erase the perceived humiliation she inflicted. Forensic psychologists often interpret such acts as a profound symbolic statement. It's an attempt to regain absolute power, to demonstrate ultimate dominance over someone who, in the perpetrator's warped perception, had defied or rejected them. The act of storing the remains in a refrigerator can be seen as a desperate, albeit grotesque, attempt to maintain a semblance of control even after the life has been extinguished, a chilling testament to an obsession that transcended death. The confession in a suicide note, while seemingly an act of remorse, can also be interpreted through the lens of narcissistic injury, a final attempt to control the narrative, even in death, by framing the victim as the instigator of his destructive actions. The confession in the suicide note, while a significant breakthrough, presents a complex challenge for investigators and the justice system. Forensic psychology plays a crucial role in dissecting the veracity and underlying motivations behind such a confession. Was it a genuine admission of guilt, or an attempt to manipulate perceptions even in death? The meticulous nature of the crime, coupled with the suicide note, allows forensic psychologists to build a profile of the offender and understand the psychological underpinnings of their actions. The legal system will then grapple with presenting this evidence, aiming to establish intent and motive beyond a reasonable doubt. The psychological profile developed through forensic analysis can help prosecutors understand the offender's cognitive processes and emotional landscape, aiding in the presentation of a comprehensive case. While the legal proceedings will focus on factual evidence and legal statutes, understanding the psychological dimensions is vital for a complete picture of the crime and for contributing to preventative measures. This tragic case serves as a stark reminder of the importance of recognizing and addressing unhealthy relationship dynamics. We must cultivate a societal awareness of the subtle, and sometimes overt, warning signs of controlling behavior, possessiveness, and disproportionate anger. Education on healthy relationship boundaries, consent, and recognizing emotional abuse is paramount. Systems, whether familial, social, or institutional, must be equipped to identify and intervene when individuals express concerning behaviors or when victims signal distress. This includes fostering environments where people feel safe to report abuse without fear of reprisal. For individuals, learning to trust your intuition is crucial. If a relationship feels consistently off balance, if your partner's behavior is erratic or controlling, or if you feel constantly devalued, it's a sign that something is fundamentally wrong. Seeking support from trusted friends, family, or professional counselors can provide a lifeline and a clearer perspective. The Bengaluru butcher case is a chilling testament to the destructive power of unchecked rage and possessiveness. It forces us to look inward, to question the societal norms that sometimes glorify intense romantic obsession. Have you ever witnessed or experienced any of the warning signs discussed in this episode? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more in-depth analyses of criminal psychology.